As the pioneer of the hybrid revolution, Toyota is no stranger to shaking up the automotive landscape, and now they're ready to do it again. According to Toyota's CEO, the company has developed an engine so revolutionary, it threatens to eclipse the entire electric vehicle market. This isn't just another tweak to the traditional engine. It's a groundbreaking shift that could redefine what powers our cars. Intrigued? You should be. Join us as we dive into Toyota's closely guarded secret and uncover the truth behind this game-changing technology that the media isn't telling you about. Toyota's bold move to reshape the auto industry. Toyota's latest venture into the world of sustainable transportation marks a significant pivot from the prevailing trend towards fully electric vehicles, EVs. While the auto industry seems dominated by EVs, with leaders like China and the USA continually pushing the boundaries, Toyota has chosen a unique path that emphasizes diversity and mobility options. This unique approach was outlined in a detailed presentation by Hiroki Nakajima, Toyota's Executive Vice President and Chief Technology Officer, during a technical briefing in Japan. Toyota's vision, as shared by Nakajima, is to transform into a mobility company rather than just an automobile manufacturer. Moreover, Toyota is not working in isolation. The briefing revealed collaborations with key figures like Takeru Kato, who leads the development of electric vehicles, and Mitsumasa Yamagata, who oversees the hydrogen car division. These partnerships within Toyota emphasize a comprehensive approach to future mobility solutions that cater to diverse market needs and environmental goals. Transforming into a mobility company entails offering various commuting options that adapt to differing global needs and environments. Central to this strategy is the development of a revolutionary hydrogen combustion engine. Unlike the traditional hydrogen fuel cells used by other manufacturers, which generate electricity to power an electric motor, Toyota's engine burns hydrogen directly in a manner similar to how traditional internal combustion engines burn gasoline. This technology is poised to redefine the industry's approach to zero-emission vehicles. Toyota's hydrogen engine is designed to produce only water vapor as its exhaust, thus eliminating carbon emissions entirely. This aligns with global efforts to reduce the carbon footprint and showcases Toyota's commitment to environmental sustainability. Additionally, Toyota's focus on hydrogen highlights the company's belief in the potential for hydrogen as a versatile and efficient fuel source, especially given its high energy content per unit mass and the relative ease of sourcing it from a variety of processes. Every year, millions of tons of hydrogen are safely produced and utilized in various industries. It powers buildings, electric vehicles, forklifts, ships, and even trains, showing that not all engines need gasoline to function. Enter Toyota's groundbreaking hydrogen combustion engine, which is set to revolutionize the way we think about car engines. At the heart of this innovation is the Toyota Corolla Cross H2 concept car, equipped with a 1.6-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine that runs exclusively on hydrogen. How did Toyota bring this vision to life? The shift began when Toyota decided to rethink the entire electric vehicle EV market. This new engine, reliant on hydrogen, promised a transformation so profound that the EV industry would never be the same. To safely contain the highly flammable hydrogen, Toyota incorporated robust armored fuel tanks into the design, a concept derived from their hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle FCEV, the Mirai. Despite its powerful capabilities, the Corolla Cross H2 concept is surprisingly efficient, requiring only 5 kilograms of hydrogen to cover approximately 300 miles. But what happens after the hydrogen is consumed? The vehicle produces only 50 liters of water as a byproduct, which poses no harm to the environment, unlike carbon dioxide emissions. Enhancing the appeal, Toyota collaborated with Yamaha Motor to develop a V8 engine powered entirely by hydrogen. This potent engine generates about 455 horsepower and 398 pound-feet of torque. To top it off, they've added an 8-to-1 top-mounted exhaust manifold, which not only enhances performance, but also creates a distinct high-frequency sound, setting this engine apart in both function and style. When stacked against traditional electric vehicles, Toyota's hydrogen combustion engine emerges as a powerhouse with compelling advantages. Notably, it boasts a significantly longer range and the ability to refuel as quickly as filling up a tank of gas. Think the speed of a pit stop. This technology doesn't just push the envelope, it rips it wide open by slashing the reliance on scarce materials like lithium and nickel, which are staples in the production of EV batteries. Although this hydrogen-fueled car integrates a battery for power storage, it's substantially smaller than those in typical EVs. As of late 2023, the Corolla Cross H2 concept car has been braving the winter conditions of northern Japan, where it's undergoing rigorous real-world testing. The feedback? Overwhelmingly positive. This isn't just another engine, it's an environmental champion, leaving nothing but water vapor in its wake. Its impressive range and quick refueling capabilities mark a significant leap forward in automotive technology. Looking ahead, if these hydrogen-powered vehicles prove successful, the Japanese government has ambitious plans. By 2025, they aim to have 200,000 fuel cell-powered vehicles cruising the streets. By 2030, that number could leap to 800,000. Supporting this vision means ramping up infrastructure, notably by increasing the number of hydrogen refueling stations across Japan. The ups and downs of Toyota's hydrogen engine technology. We know that the hydrogen combustion engine stands out from the rest, but what are its pros and cons? Let's begin with the advantages. This engine is remarkably eco-friendly. Utilizing hydrogen as its fuel source, it emits only water vapor as a byproduct, sidestepping the harmful pollutants associated with traditional gasoline engines. This means that it doesn't produce any carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxides, or particulate matter, which are all harmful to human health and the environment. Moreover, this engine is equipped with a cutting-edge water cooling system designed to manage high temperatures effectively. This innovation not only improves engine performance, but also enhances its longevity by mitigating overheating issues. Such advancements could lead to reduced maintenance concerns and greater reliability, a blessing for drivers everywhere. An additional advantage of Toyota's hydrogen engine is its seamless integration with existing automotive technologies. It operates on principles similar to traditional combustion engines, facilitating its incorporation into current vehicle designs and manufacturing processes. This compatibility is particularly beneficial for Toyota, allowing for straightforward modifications to their existing car models to include this new engine technology. While the benefits are clear, it's important to recognize that no technology is without its challenges. One of the biggest hurdles with Toyota's revolutionary hydrogen engine is hydrogen production and infrastructure. While the engine itself is a marvel of eco-friendliness, the true environmental impact depends on how the hydrogen is produced. Currently, even though we produce millions of tons of hydrogen every year, it is not always done sustainably. To truly benefit from this green technology, we need to ensure hydrogen production methods are clean and efficient. If Toyota plans to mass-produce these hydrogen-powered cars, they'll need to solve this issue first. The infrastructure for hydrogen fueling is another significant obstacle. Right now, hydrogen fueling stations are rare compared to the ubiquitous gasoline and electric charging stations. This means that even if you have a hydrogen-powered car, finding a place to refuel could be a headache. For hydrogen cars to become mainstream, there needs to be a massive expansion of the hydrogen fueling network. Another major hurdle with hydrogen combustion engines is their complexity and cost. These engines, while similar in architecture to traditional ones, incorporate a dual water injection system. This feature, combined with the need for precise control by the engine control unit, makes the overall design more intricate. This added complexity naturally drives up manufacturing costs, making these engines more expensive to produce. Moreover, maintaining a hydrogen combustion engine can be pricey for car owners. The specialized parts required for these engines are not as common as those for conventional engines, which means higher maintenance costs. Even if Toyota were to achieve large-scale production of this revolutionary engine, they would still face the issue of market readiness. Currently, the production-ready version of this engine is still in development and testing. Even if the design passes all tests and is deemed market-ready, it will take additional time for these cars to become commercially available. This delay could pose a challenge for consumers eager to adopt this new technology. How Toyota's hydrogen engine compares to gasoline engines. While both Toyota's hydrogen combustion engines and traditional gasoline engines operate on the fundamental principles of internal combustion, the differences in fuel properties necessitate a range of modifications and innovations. Let's start with the fuel injection system. In a traditional gasoline engine, fuel injectors spray gasoline into the combustion chamber where it mixes with air and ignites. However, hydrogen, being much less dense than gasoline and having a different combustion property, requires a completely redesigned injection system. Hydrogen injectors need to be able to handle high-pressure gas and ensure precise delivery to prevent pre-ignition. The hydrogen injectors are also constructed from materials that can withstand hydrogen embrittlement, a process where hydrogen atoms diffuse into metals and cause them to become brittle and crack. This difference alone necessitates significant changes in the engine's intake system and injector design. Next, consider the combustion chamber itself. Hydrogen burns at a higher temperature than gasoline, which means the combustion chamber must be made from materials that can withstand these higher temperatures without degrading. Toyota's hydrogen combustion engine uses advanced alloys and special coatings to protect the engine components from the intense heat. Moreover, the engine's design includes optimized cooling pathways and materials to manage the higher combustion temperatures. The traditional gasoline engine, while also designed to handle high temperatures, does not face the same extreme conditions and therefore uses different materials and cooling techniques. Another crucial component is the fuel storage system. Traditional gasoline engines store their fuel in a relatively simple tank that holds liquid fuel. Hydrogen, on the other hand, must be stored as a high-pressure gas. This requires robust, high-pressure tanks made from materials like carbon fiber composites to ensure safety and durability. These tanks are designed to withstand pressures up to 700 bar, about 10,000 psi, significantly higher than the pressures encountered in gasoline tanks. The design and integration of these tanks into the vehicle also impact the overall structure and space utilization of the car. The fuel delivery system also sees significant changes. In a gasoline engine, fuel is pumped from the tank to the engine under relatively low pressure. In contrast, hydrogen engines require high-pressure pumps and regulators to safely transport the hydrogen gas from the storage tank to the injectors. These components must be able to handle the high pressures and prevent leaks, which is critical given hydrogen's small molecular size and high flammability. One of the more subtle but equally important differences is in the exhaust system. Gasoline engines produce a variety of exhaust gases, including carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxides, and unburned hydrocarbons. The exhaust system must be equipped with catalytic converters to reduce these emissions to safer levels. In contrast, the primary emission from a hydrogen combustion engine is water vapor. This significantly simplifies the exhaust system as there is no need for complex emission control devices. However, the exhaust system must still be designed to handle the high volumes of water vapor and prevent condensation that could damage the system or affect performance. Furthermore, the engine management system in hydrogen combustion engines is more sophisticated. Managing the precise conditions required for hydrogen combustion, including air-fuel mixture, ignition timing, and fuel delivery, requires advanced sensors and control algorithms. These systems are designed to optimize performance and efficiency while ensuring safety. Traditional gasoline engines also use sophisticated management systems, but the parameters they control and the conditions they monitor are different due to the different properties of gasoline and hydrogen. Additionally, the ignition system in a hydrogen combustion engine may also differ. Hydrogen's wide flammability range and low ignition energy mean that the spark plugs and ignition timing need to be precisely controlled to avoid issues like pre-ignition or knock, which are less of a concern in gasoline engines. This requires an ignition system that can handle these nuances and maintain optimal combustion under various operating conditions. Lastly, we should not overlook the structural integrity and overall design adaptations. Hydrogen embrittlement is a concern that traditional gasoline engines do not face. This phenomenon, where hydrogen atoms diffuse into metals and cause them to become brittle, necessitates the use of specialized materials and coatings throughout the hydrogen engine. Components that are exposed to hydrogen must be designed to resist this effect, which adds another layer of complexity to the engineering process. Historical attempts to develop cars that only emit water vapor. In the early 20th century, amidst the roar of engines and the smell of gasoline, a father-son duo, Henry and Charles H. Garrett, introduced the Garrett Electrolytic carburetor, patented in 1935. On September 8, 1935, Charles Garrett showcased a car that ran on water for a brief period, capturing the public's imagination. This demonstration, reported by the Dallas Morning News, involved a device designed to generate hydrogen gas through the process of electrolysis, which was then used to power the vehicle. Garrett's invention featured a conventional carburetor modified to include electrolysis plates at its base. These plates facilitated the breakdown of water into hydrogen and oxygen. The generated gases were mixed with air and fed into the engine, essentially converting water into a combustible fuel source. The patent described various components and mechanisms to maintain consistent electrolyte levels and regulate the gas mixture, ensuring optimal performance and safety. The technical ingenuity behind Garrett's carburetor lay in its ability to produce hydrogen on demand, addressing some key challenges associated with hydrogen storage and transport. Hydrogen, while an efficient fuel, poses significant storage issues due to its high reactivity and the need for high-pressure containment. Garrett's approach circumvented these issues by generating hydrogen directly within the vehicle, eliminating the need for bulky and dangerous hydrogen tanks. Despite its promise, Garrett's electrolytic carburetor never achieved commercial success. The technology faced significant practical and economic hurdles. For instance, the electrolysis process required substantial electrical energy, which posed a challenge given the automotive technology of the time. Moreover, the overall efficiency of converting water to hydrogen and then using it as fuel was not sufficiently high to make it a viable alternative to gasoline engines. Moving on to another intriguing case, Stanley Meyer made headlines in the 1980s with his claim of inventing a water fuel cell that could power a car. He even showcased a dune buggy allegedly running on water. Meyer's invention supposedly used a fuel cell that split water into hydrogen and oxygen using a process called electrolysis. He claimed this was achieved with an electrical resonance that required less energy than traditional methods. This hydrogen and oxygen mixture would then be combusted back into water vapor in an internal combustion engine, supposedly producing net energy. However, Meyer's claims were inconsistent. Sometimes he said the spark plugs were replaced with a water splitter, and other times he referred to a fuel cell performing the task. Despite the excitement and media coverage, his claims were never independently verified by scientists. In 1996, things took a turn when Meyer was sued by two investors who accused him of fraud. The court found Meyer guilty of gross and egregious fraud after expert witnesses testified that his device was merely a conventional electrolysis cell and did not perform as claimed. Meyer was ordered to repay the investors $25,000. Stanley Meyer's story didn't end there. He died suddenly on March 20th, 1998, during a dinner with two Belgian investors. His brother claimed Meyer ran out of the restaurant saying, "They poisoned me," before collapsing. The official cause of death was a cerebral aneurysm, but conspiracy theories about his death persist, with some believing he was assassinated to suppress his invention. Today, Meyer's patents have expired, and no mainstream manufacturers have adopted his designs. Adding to the list of remarkable claims, in 2002, a company named Hydrogen Technology Applications made headlines when it patented an electrolyzer design and introduced a new term, aquagen, to describe the hydrogen-oxygen gas mix produced by their device. This innovation was not initially intended for automotive use. It was developed as a modern alternative to traditional oxyacetylene welding. The firm took a bold step forward by claiming their technology could power vehicles solely on water. They explained this through the production of aquagen and introduced concepts like magnagases and magnacules. However, these theories were not widely accepted in the scientific community and are considered unproven and discredited. The founder of the company, Dennis Klein, was quite optimistic about the potential of this technology. He even mentioned that he was in talks with a major U.S. auto manufacturer about adopting this technology. Furthermore, there was an intriguing claim that the U.S. government had shown interest in producing Hummers that would utilize his water fuel technology. Despite these ambitious claims, the reality has been a bit more grounded. As time passed, the company shifted its focus. Today, they no longer claim that their technology can run a car exclusively on water. Instead, they promote aquagen as a method to improve fuel efficiency in vehicles. This approach is now aligned more with hydrogen fuel enhancement rather than the revolutionary idea of a car powered entirely by water. Also in 2002, a company called Genesis World Energy stepped into the spotlight with a bold announcement. They claimed to have developed a device ready for the market that could extract energy from water by separating hydrogen and oxygen and then recombining them. By 2003, Genesis World Energy upped the ante by declaring that their technology could now power automobiles. This claim captured the imagination of many and opened the wallets of investors. The company managed to collect over $2.5 million from eager backers, hoping to see this revolutionary technology come to life. However, the excitement was short-lived. Despite the big promises and substantial financial backing, none of the devices Genesis World Energy touted were ever brought to market. The story took a darker turn when, in 2006, Patrick Kelly, the owner of Genesis World Energy, faced the consequences of these unfulfilled promises. He was sentenced in New Jersey to 5 years in prison for theft and was also ordered to pay $400,000 in restitution. Shifting our focus to another noteworthy attempt, in June 2008, the Japanese company Genepax made waves with an announcement that turned heads worldwide. They unveiled a car that, according to their claims, ran entirely on water and air. Media quickly dubbed it a water fuel car, sparking curiosity and skepticism alike. Genepax remained mysterious about the specifics of their innovation. While they refrained from revealing the core part of this invention, they did share that the system operated using what they termed a membrane electrode assembly. This crucial component was said to extract hydrogen through a mechanism akin to the reaction between metal hydride and water. The hydrogen produced was then used to generate the energy needed to run the car. However, this led to much speculation among experts and enthusiasts. Many suggested that the metal hydride itself might be the real source of energy. In this view, the car would be better described as a hydride-fueled, hydrogen-on-demand vehicle, rather than truly water-fueled. The distinction is significant because it challenges the claim of running solely on water. The company's explanation on their website, summarized in just 2 words, chemical reaction, did little to clarify the details. Popular Mechanics, a respected science and technology magazine, went as far as to label Genepax's claims as rubbish. Despite the initial excitement, skepticism grew as the technological community questioned the viability and science behind the claims. The vehicle showcased by Genepax was a Revi electric car, originally manufactured in India and known in the UK as the G-Whiz. The demonstration alone wasn't enough to silence the doubters. By early 2009, less than a year after their grand reveal, Genepax took a step back. They announced the closure of their website, citing the high costs of development as the primary reason. Also in 2008, Tushara Priyamal Edirisinghe from Sri Lanka brought an eye-catching claim into the spotlight. He asserted that his car could travel approximately 300 kilometers, which is roughly 190 miles, using only 3 liters of water. The technology behind this incredible feat is like the others. It involves splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen through a process known as electrolysis, and then using these gases to power the engine. The potential of this water-fueled vehicle did not go unnoticed. Sri Lanka's Prime Minister, Ratnasiri Wickramanayake, was impressed. After witnessing the technology firsthand, he extended the government's full support for Tushara's endeavors to launch this water-powered car in the Sri Lankan market. However, the story took a dramatic turn. Just a few months later, Tushara found himself entangled in legal troubles, arrested on suspicion of investment fraud. On the other side of the world, another inventor made waves with a similar concept. Since 1969, Daniel Dingle from the Philippines claimed to have developed a technology that allows cars to run on water. Fast forward to 2000, Dingle partnered with Formosa Plastics Group to advance this technology. However, in 2008, the partnership soured as Formosa Plastics accused Dingle of fraud. The legal battle concluded with Daniel Dingle, then 82 years old, being sentenced to 20 years in prison. Another instance occurred in December 2011 when Ghulam Sarwar, a name not widely known until then, announced that he had invented a car that could run on water. Initially, this vehicle used a mix of 60% water and 40% diesel or other fuel types. However, Sawar didn't stop there. He ambitiously aimed to modify the car to run solely on water by the end of June 2012. One of the most striking aspects of his claim was that the car would emit only oxygen, a significant contrast to the typical carbon emissions from conventional cars. Fast forward to July 2012, another Pakistani inventor, Aga Wakar Ahmad, stepped into the limelight with his own version of a water-fueled car. Ahmad's approach was slightly different. He developed what he called a water kit, which could supposedly be installed in any automobile. This kit consisted of a cylindrical jar to hold water, a bubbler, and a pipe leading directly to the engine. Ahmad's system relied on electrolysis to convert water into HHO, a mix of hydrogen and oxygen, which then fueled the engine. He emphasized that his kit needed distilled water to function effectively. Ahmad was confident in his invention, claiming he could generate more oxyhydrogen gas than any previous inventor, thanks to some undisclosed calculations. He even went as far as applying for a patent in Pakistan to solidify his claim. However, Ahmad's invention sparked controversy. Some Pakistani scientists quickly criticized his claims, stating that his water-fueled car was impossible and violated fundamental laws of thermodynamics. They labeled his invention as fraudulent. The last claim for today was made by Arianto Misel, an Indonesian inventor, in May 2022. He introduced Nakuba, a device he developed that purportedly converts water into hydrogen, which could then be used as fuel for motorcycles. Arianto asserted that his invention was highly efficient, needing just 1 liter of water to travel 500 kilometers. By July 2023, Arianto's claims escalated in prominence. He announced that prestigious Italian automobile manufacturers, including Lamborghini, Ducati, and Ferrari, showed interest in his invention, Nakuba. His confidence in the device's potential was evident as he expressed his willingness to sell the technology to foreign companies for 15 billion rupiahs. Despite his ambitious plans, Arianto voiced a strong disinterest in support from the Indonesian government and the National Research and Innovation Agency, claiming they had destroyed him. However, the scientific community in Indonesia, specifically experts from the National Research and Innovation Agency, expressed skepticism about Arianto's invention. They deemed the device theoretically impossible, citing fundamental principles of physics. Additionally, contrary to Arianto's assertions, these scientists clarified that there was no interest from the mentioned Italian automobile manufacturers in the Nakuba. They revealed that Arianto was actually invited by their partners rather than the manufacturers themselves. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.